don't worry. I have my business plan. I'll tell you everything. I'll tell you all the mistakes I have made. I'll tell you exactly which works best. I will take out all the trying that didn't work I have done, and you can just do what has worked. And then you can be where I am. Hi, dreamers. Welcome to my podcast. And my name is Sophie, and I am a watercolorist. I am the artist and owner of Dream in Watercolor. So you are listening to my podcast. This is where I share everything about being an artist, running an art business, and being a single mom all at the same time. And so this is me releasing my oversharing energy. And hopefully, what I share with people is relatable. And I hope to reach those people who are also struggling with similar things or are ready to make a decision or thinking about making a decision to change your life. And I hope you find inspiration or information about what I'm talking about helpful. So, today's topic is how the way I do our business isn't for everyone. And I had to learn that. That realization did not come to me naturally. And we cannot really control how we feel about things. And I hope what I explained to you help you to make your own decision. So before we dive into that, I always share with you one of my paintings and tell you a little bit about the backstory. Today I'm sharing my very first mushroom paintings. If you have seen me elsewhere at shows or on my YouTube channel or my socials, you probably know that I paint a lot of mushrooms. And this is the painting that started all that. I simply want to paint something whimsical when I thought I would paint this toadstool mushrooms. And I'm more thinking along the line of a mushroom that will look like woolen animal home, a chill evening. And so I thought I would paint glowing mushrooms. And it turned out awesome. So this mushroom became very popular for a while before all my other mushroom painting came out. So I'm really proud of this one. If you notice, there's a little ladybugs on the mushrooms. So I like to hide little details in my paintings. I'm really proud how this one came out. And so if you like my paintings and you would like to bring it home, feel free to visit my website, color.com, and I have prints of all materials and sizes on my website. Please support a real artist, someone who creates with real materials and paints and do things with their hands. Thank you very much. Now let's talk about the how I operate my art business. So I'll I will tell you something that I couldn't understand why I can enjoy doing. Um, if you listen to my podcast before, you know, before I am an artist and art business owner, I have a background in physical therapy. I was a physical therapist. I worked as a physical therapist for a decade. Everybody I have encountered in that career, including colleagues, supervisors, patients, everyone was very supportive, amazing, kind. And I received a lot of recognitions and praises and just lot of sense of purpose and achievement as a physical therapist to help people to move on from a lack of mobility and a disability and a pain to a more productive life. However, I could not figure out for the longest time why I dread going to work. I enjoyed every patient I come across and I enjoyed the sense that I can make a difference in their life. I have this anxiety about every day when have to go back to work. I have this anxiety, wake up with this anxiety. And I look at my colleagues, they're excited about learning new skills and learning new techniques and learning the latest research about what they're treating and what they're passionate about treating. Actually, it just stresses me out. I'm like, there are new stuff coming out. Have I not already learned? That's a good things that be able to keep your license, you need to continue to educate yourself on the topic. And I was just not motivated to keep on learning. I had to do it as kind of like a dreadful things to renew my license. I promise you, I was a good therapist. I wasn't, I didn't suck. I don't know how to explain it. And become an artist changed all that. I lose all the resistance in working. There is no molasses that I have to push through to start painting, to start running my business. Actually, I encountered a lot of aftermath that's like anxiety attack and burnout. But for a while there, I was really proud how I figured out my business models. I do a lot of events and art shows and festivals, and I get to set up my canopy and show everybody my work, and customer walk past my booth and want to buy art from me, and I get to have that immediate gratification of people telling me what they think of my art and taking out their credit card and paying for my art. It's how I chose to do business, and it has worked great for me. So I was under the impression that anyone who is willing to, who is an artist, who can create, also can operate this and become great at it. So I was on a mission to develop my cult. I did feel a little bit lonely because I have so much excitement to share. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was at this event and I tried this new business technique and it works great for me. Have you tried anything similar? I do a lot of talking with my neighbor vendors and we always have great conversation, but we part our ways after the event. And I want to have that stable cult where I can, after event, we can go grab food and we can just talk about the thriving life of running our business and living a life as artists. I met a lot of people, artists themselves, who really wants to make art more of something that they can live off. And I say, don't worry, I have my business plan. I'll tell you everything. I'll tell you all the mistakes I have made. I'll tell you exactly which works best. I will take out all the trying that didn't work I have done, and you can just do what has worked. And then you can be where I am. And then we can move forward together in this happy band of artists. And it takes me a while because of the hesitance that some of these artists, my friends, listen to what I'm telling them and they look hesitant on their face. They are afraid to make that move. And I just thought maybe it's a financial problem. They're not sure whether they want to make all the investment upfront to buy equipment. If they think about it, then they will come around to know that my system work and they can just copy what I do. It take me a long time and many artist friends who have making a different decision, go down a different route as an artist to realize that it's not only the investment part, it's the process part. A lot of what I'm telling them what I do does not sound appealing to them at all, even though I look very excited about it. It dawns on me after a while that you have to love the process. You, not you, like logically, we can all get on board with a lot of stuff, especially when we're told that it works. Um, it's our nervous system that struggle with a lot of the processes. And what's very lucky for me is that my nervous system liked the process of running the business the way I do, while other people might feel like how I felt as a physical therapist is that, well, everything sounds good, everything looks good. No one is struggling with what's being presented. It's just their nervous system is very stressed about what's happening around them or what they think will happen around them. I know a lot of artists struggle with showing their art in front of people or talking about their art or just in general stage fright about selling. And I'm not saying that I will be a natural salesperson, but talking about my art is not effort for me. And figuring out how to talk about my artwork is not scary for me. I made a list of things that worked in my favor. Um, I love my painting process. I cannot paint while I'm tired or stressed or lack of sleep. I have to paint when I'm in my best energy, well slept, well fed, no stress. I will be in a flow stage where I focus on one, two, three, four, five steps, how to paint, how to put the image in my head on paper. That's a great way to spend my time that my nervous system enjoy doing. What else do I like? I like to apply to events. Even though time management is hard for people when they are literally paying and applying and planning and putting things on their calendar 6 months, 10 months before the time. For me, it's very exciting because every time I apply for an event, it's a potential payday. And when accept my application, then I know it's a payday. So when my calendar is filled with months and months to come with all sorts of events marked on my calendars, then I am looking at a lot of paydays. So it's very exciting to sit down and say, oh, I wonder what events I should be applying 10 months from now. I recently just submitted a booth fee for a couple of big Christmas event. And this is May. This is only in May, and I am already pinned in my Christmas event, and that is just very exciting for me. What else do I like? Ah, I like making my own prints, even though this is something that's becoming a problem. Printing my own prints and making sure that everything looks the way it looks, it comes out to with the paper that I like and come out to be the color that needs to come out and putting into the sleeve, touching the product and knowing this product is a baby that's gonna pay my bills and it will go on other people's wall and they wake up looking at it every day and they're like, how amazing this look in my house. How exciting is that? I am not ready emotionally or financially ready to outsource this part of my business and letting other people print my print because every time when a print come churned out of my printer, I feel like I'm just like, oh, look at my baby. You look amazing. What makes me happy to make my print and making print is has a little stress on me emotionally because it's a repetitive motion. You cut the paper, you print the print, you recut the print, you back them, you put the sticker on. It feels very low risk. And there's no big decision made there. It's a very rewarding thing for me. But it's becoming a little bit overwhelming that the repetitive motion is taking up a lot of time. I need to figure out what I do with it, but right now I'm enjoying it very much. What else do I enjoy? Oh, yes. I enjoy meeting customers. I enjoy doing events where I have people coming to my booth. I love talking to people about my art. You know what people don't ask you when they're coming to your booth and look at your art? People do not ask you, oh, you're choosing to be an artist. Is this paying your bill? Are you making enough? Have you regret this decision yet? I hope this work out for you. No, they don't ask me that. They simply walking on and says, "Oh, I love your art. It looks amazing." And what's your inspiration behind this one? What's your inspiration behind this one? What about that one? What about that one? What about that one? And how many years have you done this? And where can I buy your art? And how much are your prints? And how much are your originals? And everything that an artist wants to talk about. And I just feel very flattered. Even when people don't buy, they just come in and compliment me. Folks, an artist needs a lot of compliment. We are so insecure when we're on our own painting that we constantly think about, if my art is any good. And we have to be pos positively reinforced over and over. And where else can you get that in person of random people coming to you and just tell you that they appreciate your art exists, than at a market or art show or just in-person event. And it's amazing. And it's even more amazing that many of them is willing to take out their wallet and pay to have your art and hang your art in their living room. Nothing beats a customer who just paid for your prints or your art and then they walk out of your booth happier than you are. You are some you just made a positive change in their life. How amazing is that? And I often ride on these adrenaline highs after events, after I just fully been positively reinforced and validated for my worth, for my existence, for my skill, for my art and everything. And I can ride on that adrenaline high for days. And all these things I love about how I run my business make a lot of hardship much easy to tolerate. A lot of people says, "Oh, I feel bad that you're working 15 hours a day and that must be really hard." And I think about it, I'm like, yeah, I do work 15 hours a day when I'm running an event. And then not to mentioning the strenuous labor to go through to set up an art booth all by myself uh, right before a long day of selling, or having to take down a booth all by myself after a long day of selling. And that's very strenuous physical activity. And I often dread those parts. But I also know that's how I get my exercises. How else would an artist get her exercises in if not for lifting 50 pounds off your vehicle 5, 10, 20 times um, in a row? But the selling part in between the setup and takedown make the setup and takedown tolerable. And I'm very thankful that I enjoy uh being out there selling my art. And other things that's really hard but for me become tolerable is anxiety and of living not on a stable income, but there are events that can be good and there are events that can be very flat. And having anxiety about not knowing whether an event will generate enough income to pay the bills. And too often for me to offset that unknown, I often overbook myself. And I said, well, if one event will make the cut for income, I will book two events, three events. One of those will hit the spot and it will make me enough money. And then I have a lot of burnouts after events. Like I said, I often forget to eat or drink during events, and I stand there for 10 hours a day, and then I have to take down or set up before and after with a lot of physical activities. I often experience burnout after I'm working on that. I am pep talking myself to be more healthy about doing event rather than just I need to have my health figured out. But yes, so slowly I am getting better. I am remembering to store non-messy snacks in my booth, to have enough water, to sit down when no one's coming rather than walk around anxiously, to get enough rest, and to pace myself for setup and takedown, and to empty my calendar for a couple days after the event to fully rest myself. And so that's a thing that I can improve. I can intentionally improve. What other things that is hard but tolerable is time management. I'm always running out of time. I no longer think about how much my time is worth, my hourly wage, how much I'm paying myself. I no longer feel bitter about not getting paid enough or doing work that's not generating income anymore, because that's no longer the model of my life anymore. I am constantly working. I choose to work. Often I have a list of things I would like to try for my business, and I'm trying to sneak them into my schedule just to get them tested out because they're so exciting. I have a list of painting that I want to do, and managing time is hard, and choosing to work around the hours or choose to take reasonable breaks is hard for me. And those decisions is tough, but I'm improving them. And so I am starting to notice the way I do business and what a big colossum of responsibility, decision making, labor, and courage it takes that might not look appealing to other individuals. And speaking of all this, I hope that if someone is making a decision about how you're going to generate income with your art, I want to let you know that the most important thing about deciding on a business model is to know if you will be enjoying the process. If you don't enjoy the process, you're going to dread it. And getting things done will feel like pushing against gravity. It's going to be tough. And there are other options of how to become an artist and, slowly rolling that income in. I happen to enjoy doing these. And if you are anything like me and you resonate everything I like about the way I run business, I want to also let you know that I do all these by myself. And I love doing all these by myself. And I am also a full-time single mom of two kids. And it's doable. And you can enjoy the whole shenanigan and feel extremely dangerous alive, even with the burnout and anxiety and all that. It's doable and it's amazing, and I will not change a thing about it. So I hope this realization help people make decision whether you're anyone like me or you realize that you are not someone who enjoy what I do. They give you perspective. And thank you. If you're still here, please interact with my content. Please subscribe, follow, like, do whatever it is that whatever platform you are listening this podcast on. This help my content to reach more people who are going through the same struggle and can really benefit from listening to my experience and figuring things for themselves. None of us have to go through this journey all by ourselves. We don't have to feel lonely. We can do this. We can feel like we can be in this journey together. And thank you. I would love to invite you back for my next podcast. I will be talking about things that become precious to you when you have to fight to keep them. And thank you very much. I will see you next time. Have a great one. Keep dreaming. Bye for now.